and welcome. Now, they say water is life. It is the liquid gold that we can't do without. Welcome to Climate Check with me, Mary Mwiikisa, and today we're focusing on water on the program. And of course, the program is brought to you courtesy of HIVO's Southern Africa with a consortium of partners under the Strengthening Respect for Environmental Rights in Zambia project. And so I will introduce my guest on the other side after the break. Now, water is life, as I said earlier, and of course at household level, community level, agriculture and every other sector cannot thrive without water. And this is why on Climate Check today, I invited Mrs. Misozi Ngulube Lumpa, Acting Director General at the Water Resources Management Authority, WAMA, to be with us on Climate Check. Thank you so much for agreeing to be on the show.
Thank you very much for inviting.
All right. So now, I have an idea of what WAMA is all about, but I would like to get a clear understanding of why the authority exists.
Okay, the Water Resources Management Authority is a statutory body established by an Act of Parliament, the Water Resources Management Act. We have been established to manage, regulate, and protect water resources countrywide. We are 100% government-owned. You know, water is a public good.
Yes.
And we are responsible for managing water resources countrywide. We do deal with ground and surface water. We are commonly known for boreholes and drilling.
That's what comes to mind.
But we're doing so much more that I will explain in detail later. We are here to serve the public, protect the water resource because it's on very high demand. And basically, that's what we do.
Now, we know that the concept of water resources management might not be well understood by most viewers. And of course, many people think of water simply as supply. If it reaches their homes and that's it, we don't care how it has come to our home, whether through a borehole or through the water utility. What exactly do we mean by water resources management and why it is important for our country?
So, as you indicated, water is like gold. It's a very important commodity. In fact, other sources of energy like electricity, you can use charcoal, you can use gas. But with water, you can't replace
There's no substitute.
There's no substitute for water. And our country's population is increasing. So first of all, we need to measure the water in the water bodies, whether it's lakes, rivers, dams. We have strategic stations where we know the water levels. After we know the water levels, we have issued out permits for hydropower generation, for agriculture. We need to balance competing needs because if we leave water not managed, not planned, you have a situation where maybe water is abstracted for mining, but domestic water is not available. Or there are those who have more money than others who can deprive other people. So we are there to ensure we undertake water resources planning. We project the water we'll have in the water bodies for the next period. Usually we do forecasts in collaboration with Zambia Meteorological Department. So water resource management is not water policing, contrary to popular
the perception.
They feel like, oh, this is God-given water.
From drilling bores. It's not their land. It's not their water.
Yes, and then there is also this entitlement that it's God-given. Why should there be someone checking? Or if we do not do that, in 10 years' time, our grandchildren and our children will not have water available for their use. So we are actually saving the public so that we balance the competing needs, and we need the public to support us instead of thinking we're policing them. And we have a collaborative approach. Even with water allocation, when you apply for a water permit, we advertise in the paper. The reason for doing that is for those existing water users. They need to come forward and say, oh, this permit you're about to grant, it will affect my investment. So that's why water resource planning is very important and for the benefit of the public.
Okay. Now, what are some of the major challenges affecting Zambia's water, and as an organization, how are you responding to this?
So we have broadly two major challenges, but they can be subcategorized. We have human-induced activities that affect water resource management.
Okay.
These will be illegal water abstraction, where you don't have a permit, you're abstracting water for commercial purposes. Because for domestic use, we don't charge.
Okay.
But for commercial purposes, you need to pay, whether it's using it for growing crops for resale. There are some who just indiscriminately use the water without a permit. There are some who are given a permit. You are given 80,000 cubic meters of water. Then you go like, no, WAMA is not watching me. You pump more. Maybe you pump 100,000 cubic meters. Those are the challenges we are facing. We're also facing challenges of encroachment. It's very attractive for someone to want to build on a water body.
Yes.
It's becoming common, especially in local authorities where there are rivers.
Yes.
You find they want to build on, and that affects water availability. The other broad category is climate change issues, and climate change is here with us. It's a challenge we're facing. You find this year, we are in the same country, we're dealing with a drought.
Yes.
In Tanganyika, it's flooding there.
Flooding.
I think you heard Wama speaking about the water levels of Tanganyika rising. So those are the natural occurrences that affect how we manage the water, and the human-induced activities, which also affect water. Then we're dealing with those, like you asked, we have various strategies. We are mapping water resource protection areas. We've been going countrywide. We've been identifying them. We have scaled these processes during the drought period. We have also been involved in public awareness. Sometimes you find that innocently, someone will be involved in riverbank cultivation at their convenience. They don't understand, this will cause turbidity and it will affect the health of the river. So we're also...
So that is not right?
It's not right.
It's still like, especially in rural areas, like people have got just like farms, gardens, just on the riverbank. Like it's a normal thing.
Yes, so it's not right, and we have been, because they've also been doing, like when we're undertaking...
They dig a canal and, to bring it closer to the garden.
So it's convenient.
I never thought that it's wrong, actually.
So it's convenient for them, but it's a problem. And ultimately, for instance, for water utility companies, they are spending more money to purify that water for it to come clean in your home.
Yes.
That is public funds that the water utility is going to use to make sure the water is chlorinated until if it's still looking brown, they can actually be sanctioned by NOASCO for supplying dirty water. So that is one of the issues. So we are engaged in public sensitization. We're also working closely with other institutions like the local authorities that are involved in allocating land, because we are taking the proactive approach. Before, we would wait, for instance, subdivisions are done. Then when we see there's a subdivision, that's when we go marching to our counterparts, the local authority. Why did you do this? But now we are telling them, look, we would even come on an ad hoc basis to sit in the planning meeting so that we explain that before we subdivide, where will the people get the water?
Yes.
So those are the various strategies that we are using to ensure that...
To address those challenges.
Those real challenges.
Now, how does WAMA support businesses and commercial water users? Earlier on, you spoke about how maybe people would extract water for resale or for whatever commercial purposes. And now in Lusaka, for example, we have a lot of water bottling companies, like so many. Every day there's always a new one. And one wonders, how do we ensure we still have adequate water supply for domestic users, for the general public, even as these commercial entities are doing their businesses?
Yes, so in addition to regulating, we are water managers. So, like I said, we balance competing needs. And we do this using the licensing frameworks that we have. We're actually involved in amending our law to reduce the permitting period. I think initially we had issues with the time it was taking. Because if someone wants to invest and they have money available, the longer it takes for them to get a permit, it affects their business. So we issue out permits for, first of all, water storage. We have a target under our 8th National Development Plan to increase our storage. When we increase our storage, we will shield ourselves, we will build that resilience. When there's drought, you already have water stored. We facilitate permits for water infrastructure. We also use strategies such as discouraging wasteful forms of water use.
Okay. What are those wasteful forms of water use?
So there are those people who just flood. Like, I think sugarcane, that was a common. But they've also been transitioning with engagement, and it's gradual, because we also can't just tell them, today we are banning flooding. People might lose job, for instance, if they are employed. But now the permits beyond 2020, like just when WAMA has been functional, we have been trying as much as possible. Even when we are renewing, we would give a condition that direct abstraction must come to a stop, because direct abstraction is, there's no storage. So where we can have storage, we allow for storage. There are other areas where storage is not possible. You know, they need to design the weir or whatever it is. Then we encourage sustainable water use for communities. For instance, someone will just open a canal. The whole day, they even go to their markets to sell their produce. They find the water running. But that will affect other water users. So those are the various ways in which we are facilitating sustainable permitting. Okay.
Now, we know in the time of climate change that there has been changes in how our water is readily available. Not long ago, we suffered a drought, and we saw what happened to Kariba Dam, and also various other sectors of the economy, agriculture, and much, much more. How are you ensuring you adapt or you create models that align with the changes in the climate to ensure that your work still thrives and you still help the public in a way?
So the punishing drought that you've mentioned also taught us the bitter lessons as a water regulator. During that season, water users, first of all, were coming to us, Wama, why should I pay you? There's no water. I'm not using this water beneficially. Some were coming, okay, reduce the permits so that we agriculture water users or hydropower water users are able to use this water. Now we know if we reduce, we might affect domestic water use, the water that's going to the water utilities for supply. So we learned our lessons. We have been, like I said, promoting water storage. Also, we had focused a lot of our systems on flood early warning. But over time, with available resources, we've also focused on drought, and with some support from collaborating partners, we have built flood early warning systems and drought early warning systems. And we feel like when we go to our water users and tell them, look, this is a very difficult year. Can we reduce the use, even if you have been permitted, we have permitted you as one. Instead of us formally reducing those permits through the board, can using these water user associations reduce, and they would cooperate with us. Those are strategies that we're using to stay resilient, and we continue working with our water users. We are also ensuring that we give them information in good time that, okay, this year, they're working with ZMD. Because we have gauging stations, they also have their weather stations. So our focus is on the water levels in the river, and they are affected by the amount of rainfall that we receive. So we'll tell our water users that this year we will have above average rainfall. So try and store as much as you can. This year the water is not good. Please, we need to share it equitably. Okay. Do you in any way engage in conversations around water harvesting? Yes, we, first of all, our act is the foundation for water harvesting. It provides that we regulate water infrastructure, and we regulate from the point of business. For instance, if you want to establish the water infrastructure, you need to submit your drawings to WAMA so that we know that this dam is not too big. Also, the structural integrity and the risks. We don't want a dam is built after a few years. Sometimes the dams that are built are actually funded with CDF money and it collapses. So we take keen interest. Under the hand of the minister, we recommended regulations to be passed, the water harvesting and storage regulations that were supported with the help of the World Bank. We are sensitizing, and it's good I have this platform to use to create that awareness so that even those existing dams are registered, we are aware of them, and we look at, how do we need to ensure that we strengthen integrity?
Okay. Yeah. What kind of partners and stakeholders are you working with to ensure that you serve the public efficiently?
So we are collaborating with various stakeholders. We are collaborating with conservation institutions.
Okay.
We are working with WWF. They're helping us with the sustainable Wangwa. We are conserving the source of the Wangwa. We are collaborating with GIZ under Aware 2.0.
Yes.
There are certain joint programs we've built. A while back we signed an MOU, and we've looked at both our interests and agreed that we need to proceed in this direction to ensure that we support the catchment, Kafue catchment that they are willing to support. We also have support from the United Nations Development Program. They assisted us with the same early warning systems, building of gauging stations, and generally they've been supporting us developing guidelines. They're also helping us with construction of a state-of-the-art lab in Lusaka to assist us with our water quality issues. We also work with local authorities. Like I said, we have signed various MOUs. We just need to upscale our implementation. Some of them we signed and then ourselves went to sleep. And so with these programs, such as the Water Resource Protection Areas Program, we are upscaling our engagement. We are working closely with Zambia Meteorological Department. We are working with ZEMA. We're dealing with the recent pollution. We had to work tirelessly to follow the plume, neutralize it, and now we're working on restoration measures. Okay.
And how would you like members of the public at domestic level to utilize the water resource? I say so especially for some of us that have boreholes, because I know at the back of my mind I'm not paying any water bill. So, I mean, I leave the tap running. Maybe those that are paying a water bill would be very mindful, if at all they are. But generally, the mindset is like, water is, it's not expensive compared to electricity.
So, first of all, water is a finite resource. I'll keep on saying it's affected by the climate change issues. It's also affected by the demand. Zambia is on a trajectory of growth, and we are the number of permit applications that are coming from industry are increasing. The population is also increasing, and most water users will look at, this river is very vast. This water is available. When WAMA has already committed it. People get loans on the basis of those same water permits. They'll go and get a loan to finance their center pivot. Okay. Then for our domestic water users, if you've noticed in Chalala, before there were less boreholes, the water table, you would hit water at 80 meters. Now the water table is going lower and lower, and there'll be reports that, my borehole has dried. We get those complaints, and then you find someone drilled the borehole 3 years ago, they come. That is affected by water availability because of various factors. So we need to treat water like that commodity that is so precious.
You can't waste it.
If it's wasted, we are the ones who get affected. You know what happens in our homes when there's just no water for 5 days.
For 2 days. Okay. And as we let you go, what's your message to our viewers?
So to our viewers, my appeal is I would like our viewers to take responsibility, to see WAMA as your partner. We have been established to save you. We are public servants to save the public. But as I've already mentioned, water it's not even the future god, it's the current god. Wars can be fought because of lack of availability of water resources. So I want to urge the public that theory or impression that water is abundant, it's free, yes, it's a gift from God, but it's a gift that can deplete, and now we start having to look for, and there's no alternative. So now if the groundwater is depleted, the surface water is depleted, we will now be working with bowsers. And now usually when the situation gets to that, it will be government needs to help us.
Indeed, those are valid
We are
points.
the government, so we should take responsibility.
Exactly. Thank you so much for coming to the show and just giving us a timely reminder of why water is a most crucial aspect of biodiversity in our environment and why we need to take care of it.
Thank you for having me and giving me this platform to explain more about WAM.
All right. This is Climate Check. I've been talking to the Acting Director General for the Water Resource Management Authority, WAMA, and this is Mrs. Misozi Ngulube Lumpa. This is Climate Check. Join me on the other side. Now imagine if trees could provide Wi-Fi. Just how many trees you would plant? Well, they provide oxygen. We definitely cannot do without it. Destruction of nature, such as forests, has led to irreversible climatic changes to our world. Join me as I talk to policy formulators, change makers, and climate change interest groups on Climate Check, weekly on this channel. Now you are the solution to climate change. Welcome back to Climate Check. Now, earlier in the year, we had an opportunity to visit Mpika, Chilonga Mission area, where we went into the forest, which was depleted like 4 years earlier, and the little waterfall that was there had dried up. But then the community came back together and agreed to allow the forest to regenerate, meaning nobody was cutting down trees in that forest, nobody was doing anything in the forest. They left it for 4 years, and the waterfall is back and running. And as a result of that, they've connected pipes to the source of the waterfall, and it is providing water to 4,000 households in Chilonga area. I was privileged to have gathered this story. Take a look. She is one of the beneficiaries of nature, running water in her backyard, whose source is a fountain in the Ilumbwe Community Forest in Mpika district. Behind me is a water fountain that just looks like a little waterfall. And this water, you will not believe that this fountain provides water for over 4,000 households of Chilonga area. And so this would not have been possible if this forest was depleted. And so now that the community came together and agreed to conserve and allow this forest to regenerate, the benefits are here for everybody. And this goes to show that environmental protection goes beyond just the narrative. It is real life.
In the absence of this forest that we are seeing, water will not be stored. It will actually evaporate. Because the forest has been conserved, then water is being stored. Community Markets for Conservation, Comako, has made it its business to mobilize communities with the aim to restore degraded forests.
So one of the initiatives or the projects that we do is the Comako Carbon Project. And it's got two components. One of the components is agriculture, and then it's also forestry. So when it comes to the forestry component, what we do is that we encourage communities to protect forests.
The forestry department in the province is undertaking restoration activities.
Recently we just had a project which we are calling the Forest Regeneration Project. We had to form village action groups where we are engaging communities, training communities on how to manage forest resources.
Zambia is losing about 0.67% of the national forest cover. Mary Mwiikisa, znbc News, Mpika. Indeed, it goes to show that when we take care of nature, nature will eventually take care of us. We've come to the end of the program for this week. Ensure to do your part to take care of the environment. And remember, don't waste the water. If you're brushing your teeth, close the tap. After you finish brushing, open the tap and rinse. Let's be mindful of how we use water going forward. I'm grateful that you watched this episode. You can join me again next week, same time, same channel. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.